well, that ended badly. Fent is that one. Okay. And I still don't have a auto drive for this map. Otherwise, it might have been possible to set shipping the manure over to the BGA and shipping the oats down to the grain mill. Quit rolling. Okay, probably turn that off. And that is empty. Good. So we'll get this all done. Probably won't put the harvester away. We'll top off the diesel because it's a little bit. I mean, it's not critical. If we go out and contract 6 grain fields, it will probably be critical sometime during that period. So just to relieve the stress, we will do that. Okay, finish this off. So I've still got to bale all this, then we can collect all of the bales. That's an interesting point. You keep driving. We've already created 21 bales today. That's 21 times 10, 11,000 is 231,000 litres of straw. That's not bad considering that's just 2 oat fields. I've always queried, straw is not worth much money. But when you're producing 11,000 litre bales and it's just yeah, 11,000 litres of bales, that gets big quick. Okay, turn you on. There's a lot of butter there. I think we usually get about 30,000 litres of butter a month, which is a lot of butter. Alrighty, that's it, you're done. We'll take this back to the yard. In fact, you know what I think I might do is rather than tip this, we'll load it for full. Then we'll put the lid on. That's a lot of grain sticking out the canvas. Then I can put this over here. I'll turn that off. That's ready to go to the grain mill. Back up. You are done. Pipe in. And fold over the top, and I'll get this loaded on the back of the Land Rover. Or unloaded on the back of the Land Rover. We'll put this in the yard too. The only thing we have left that we need to move in and out of places is the baler, the bale trailer, and the manure cart. And that positioned nicely. I'll probably leave the Land Rover there for a while. I am going to need to take a very quick break before we get on with the next job. So, that needs a clean. Anyway, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and And we're back. Okay. Oh, are we going to make that turn? Yes, indeed. Oh. So let's see how much of this brown matter we can shift down to the BGA. And ooh, that's a cold cup of tea. Whoops. Serve me right for not paying attention. So I did make the Arian front loader capable, although I haven't really used it much for that. I just find it's useful to have two vehicles that are front loader capable, even if only one of them's the prime. So obviously starting up, we had the Deutz was our only tractor. But once we were going, the Massey was our front loader tractor, but the Deutz could back it up if needed. So now we've actually got a telehandler, the JCB in the corner there, and the Arian can back it up if needed, but it's not a critical job. Well, it's not a critical action for it. It's mostly running the TMR mixer and the bale shredder. Occasionally it'll do other things, but those are it's probably its daily jobs. Obviously, during harvest here we need something that can run a baler, and it can run both of our balers, which is a marked improvement over the Massey Ferguson. And that new Forage DLC merger is also kind of a good thing. I like the look of that. Just stick it on the back of the tractor and it's right there, it's not trailed. So it's going to make merging easier with that than the windrowers normally do. And of course, using one of those as a primary tool, we don't need a merger on the mower if we don't want it. It's kind of handy because of how that works. However, the only downside with a merge is running a baler behind it. You're probably not going to do that. And the reason is because the merge pushes the product to one side or the other. So you can't follow it. With most of the windrowers, because they row to the middle, you can follow it with a baler, and the baler can just pick up the stuff as you go. But yeah, merging to the side. It's a couple. The single windrower, the single sort of rotary windrowers. They row to the side, and you gain a level of efficiency by rowing alternate directions to double up the row. But then you can't follow it with the baler because the baler is going to either be in the wrong place or picking up the same row twice. And you don't get the efficiency of scale there. There's a triple rower or triple rotary windrower that rows to, I think, the right. And it's effectively like having a 6 rotary windrower, but you have to make 2 passes to make it work. And they are very difficult to use. Workers have less problems with them, I guess. Jump out. We are down to 650,000. Woohoo! We are up to 38,000. Food's down to 385. Good grief. Cows are hungry. It's very depressing how hungry the cows are. Oh, that was the other thing Farmer Cott noticed on Glenleithan. He looked at the cow barn, which is pretty much the same as this one. It's the end game with the robot feeder, and that's all he noted on it. I wound back the video and said, has Cavalier Roy messed with that? Oh yeah, they take 2,000 cows. Well, yeah, Farmer Cott noticed on the sheep pen that it holds 2,000 sheep. He's like, oh, I wonder how many cows the cow shed holds. He went back to it. Oh, 2,000. 2,000 is fine unless you have Maize Plus running, in which case that's effectively 200,000 cows of food requirement from base game. Is it? No. 2,000 cows, 20,000. That's the equivalent of feeding 20,000 cows in base game. So, yeah, you want to watch that. I mean, we're struggling with the 130 we have. I think it's 130. Might be a bit more. Oh, maybe they had babies in the beginning of July. That's always a possibility. Guess we could check that when we start dumping the manure again. But the more cows we get, the faster we're producing this brown substance, and the quicker we have to dispose of it. And it's not like we can throw it into the drain and hope for the best. Sadly, the manure truck we have, or the manure spreader we have, can't ship it. I can't unload it here. Because that's 35,000 litres, which would be quite an efficient thing. So, what was I looking up? Cows. 65, 70, 80, 140, 150, 160, 170. Well, we've got 170 cows now. Oh, those are 2 months. So we've had 2-month-olds and 3-month-olds recently. So we have had 45 new cows at the farm, which probably why we're running out of food a little bit quicker than I'm used to. So every time we get more cows in the shed, the faster they eat the stuff and the more they produce. I mean, I'm not complaining about the milk, because the milk we are just dumping off at the nearest sell point and at the dairy, and we're producing way more milk than the dairy can cope with. I could level up the dairy about 3 or 4 times and we still wouldn't stress the cows too much. It's just that couple of months I missed that they weren't getting fed or all the feed they needed. And it's I've spoken about sort of the rest point. The rest point is midnight on day 1 in a month, where it figures how much food are they going to eat per day, how much milk are they going to produce per day. So if on, I think milk production is checked when they run out of food, milk production is 0. But I'm not sure it does the calculation. If they don't have food on day 1, I don't know that it calculates potentially how much milk they could produce if. they just stop producing it for the entire month, which is not ideal. Good grief. This is hardly making a dent in that huge pile of manure. Not even sure if I've got a bucket. I definitely don't have one for the skid steer. I have a rock bucket. I do not have a bucket. I could probably use a bucket for the skid steer and a pallet fork for the skid steer. Not the skid steer, the dude with the thing, telehandler. And the reason I say that is obviously to shovel the manure. The manure leaks out of that storage point, and so there's a strip of manure along the front of it which isn't automatically going to clean up. It's probably not a lot of it, but there's sufficient. Also, there's the question of is the corn going to work for us or not? I don't have any workers running, so all of everything that's going on now is just us making money and the productions that are running. So I'll probably run a couple more trips with this cart. Then we probably need to take care of the grain. And then I should probably finish up baling. It's 4:40 in the afternoon. It's July. The sun is not going to set for quite a while. That much is a benefit. So, how's the production here doing? Yeah, we've still got 3,000 there. Flour's already storing. I'm going to have to ship that over. Manure, I've got 142. If we run 2 more carts, that'll get us over 200,000. Which is good. So I think on reflection, the amount of the processing capacity of that bit of these BGAs is such that you're going to have to ship out manure. Well, with that one, it's once per month you need to ship out 1.2 million litres of manure and slurry. With the other one, it was, I think, about 50,000 daily, so 150,000 a month, but it could only store 75,000. I could have paid for a level 2 production, which would have... oh, you don't park there, you truck. Yeah, sorry, if I'd paid for a level 2 production, the capacity would have been 150,000, but the production would have been doubled. So I wouldn't gain anything in storage versus production. However, it would have drained the supply on the farm much faster. And as I said, we've got about 60,000 in this pit, 600,000 in this pit. So it's still about 20, just over 20 more trips to empty it. And then that's it. The cows are only producing about 30, 40,000 a day. But I guess I'm now looking at the cost to place the building versus the amount of time it's in production. So as I've said, with 100,000 litres of grain from the grain mill, that will get our bakery in production for 3 months. Which means our bakery has cost us, is not at maximum efficiency. We had to pay X amount to buy it, and I leveled it up, and it's not at capacity. The flour mill is never going to be at capacity. Even base game flour mill, we were producing with the wheat and the barley and the sorghum and the oats. It was finishing production in 3 to 6 months, depending how much of any one thing we produced. And so, it was like, again, it was never going to be at capacity. The dairy has always been at capacity. In fact, we were at the point where we were putting more milk into the dairy than we could ever hope to process. We are still producing more milk than the dairy could ever hope to process per month. So the dairy is operating at capacity and we have excess. So, paying a lot of money to improve it is probably worthwhile. But paying for this thing, I'm not sure it was really cost effective. We could have spent